Every job at this point is going to be rooted and centered in tech. So if you don't have a technical skill set, if you're not knowledgeable about tech or the tech industry, then you're being left behind. And that's intentional.
There are elements of oppression existent throughout the system. And shall we fail to look at all of those incidences of oppression, we will never attain our goal of equity.
Get Cities is 3 words.
Equity in tech.
Accountability.
Tech convener.
Economic imperative.
Weavers.
Nurturing. Passion.
Accountable.
Innovated. Equity.
Dedicated.
I don't even know what I'm saying.
Friendly. I don't know. I know it's like a simple one, but everyone we've met that's part of the team is so friendly, and you don't always get that in business, so.
Get Cities launched in 2020, powered by Second Muse Foundation. We work in areas of workforce development, in the innovation economy, and then really at the ecosystem level.
Our ultimate goal is to increase the influence and power of those who have been historically excluded in tech, with a focus in gender. The GET process starts when we spend a lot of time doing research.
So research helps us just to get started to say like what is happening in the ecosystem so that we can then identify
what resources are necessary but not available, and then what impact we could have through more efficient ecosystem engagement.
What happens is there's a lot of people across corporations, nonprofits, government, all doing their very best in their programs, but they're siloed.
We work with people that are already on the ground doing the work that may not have come together, and I think us as weavers are trying to find people that are in the ecosystem to bring them together to make better decisions, work better together.
And with whom we need to partner to actually make a difference.
We started being collaborative about different opportunities, and I think the best way to build relationships is by partnering to build things.
And so when you bring all those folks together, there's a lot of potential collaboration. So one of the great things that Get Cities did is said, all right, well, what are the efforts that can really help move the needle around equity and technology?
And you would only have better outcomes if your networks are stronger. So we help to find maybe some spaces and places of people, bringing them into a conversation, bringing them into, in the case of Chicago, a tech equity working group, to talk more about their work and figure out ways they could better work together and leverage what they already do well.
The Tech Equity Working Group is comprised of about 30 organizations.
We're going to ideate around what are some gaps we can solve, what are the problems going on right now, and find the people that are most interested in that, and then spin out initiatives for them.
The Chicago Blend Venture Fellows Program is a VC fellowship to help underrepresented aspiring VCs break into the venture ecosystem.
ISTC's Executive Dinner Series, that founder's getting reps on having conversations with decision makers.
The Get Cities Travel Fund allowed us to consider what it means to bring startup founders on these delegations. They tell a really important story of the city of Chicago.
There's a lot of learning curves with being an entrepreneur and navigating those things by yourself. That's hard. And the trust building is important because it's not just for the role, it's because they need to see somebody that can teach them to get to another level with their best interest.
If you're a woman or trans or non-binary seed founder, so someone who's raised seed capital, you might not know other seed founders exist.
Finding other founders that were doing something similar, that was really comforting, and I didn't feel like I was the only one out there doing this.
We put some of our seed founder programming with partners like World Business Chicago, P33 especially, and ISTC. So not only are you knowing Get Cities, you're knowing the partnerships, and it's a more expanded program.
You know, the organization was really dynamic and receptive to hearing the thoughts of the members of the cohort. It was really a fun experience.
We say we want to invest in and recruit diverse talent, but not actually make pathways accessible and make them realistic.
For this program in particular, we do see some of our champions hiring new people or hiring in a different way. At this point, about 30 leaders in Miami have skills that they didn't a year back.
After I did the program, I was much more aware of a lot of the topics, not just about hiring and recruiting, but in how you make people feel comfortable in the workspace.
Transsocial joined Champions as a speaker. They were part of one of our sessions to make sure that our leaders were aware of how to build an inclusive workspace for this community.
The relationship just evolved from there, and they also invited us out to San Francisco to the Lesbians Who Tech Summit, and we were able to connect with some higher-ups at a lot of the tech companies that were really interested in creating a pipeline for trans and gender nonconforming people to work in an industry that would support them and affirm them. That kind of active allyship that they show is what changes the relationship from one that is transactional to one that's transformational.
Being able to strengthen your ties and your networks are what will make things powerful.
The more that we get folks who look like me, who sound like me, who have tattoos like me, who come from Baltimore City like me, right? The more that we have those folks in spaces like this, the better we are as a community, the better we are as an ecosystem, the better we are with technology that meets the needs of the people who we serve. It's a win for everybody.
Get Cities was always intended to strengthen the local community and empower local organizations through new ideas. But at the end of the day, we want them to thrive, grow, and scale those ideas.
Irrespective of Get Cities. And that really is the perfect prototype of winning in an ecosystem strategy, that intervention lives well beyond the original investment. So we're really excited to transition our efforts to Last Mile Fund, World Business Chicago, and Radical Partners, and watch them carry this work forward as they evolve and grow with the opportunity.
So a lot of my research will be going towards, let's understand at a super nuanced level what it takes to get a student to graduate, and really what it takes to launch a student.
So we're looking forward to grow our partnership and absorb some of the team members that were part of this equation so that we can have a larger footprint in Miami and beyond.
I'm personally thrilled that the Chicago team will be housed at World Business Chicago. We're really excited to keep collaborating with all of the amazing members of the Tech Equity Working Group, and we truly all have this same goal and mission of uplifting women, trans, and non-binary founders.
We're shifting mental models that we've inherited after hundreds of years. You have to unlearn so many things.
And so if women, trans, and non-binary people never reach those levels of influence, we're continuing to miss the opportunity for that shift in the way tech impacts society.
Only with action can you move towards impact.
I know that the ripple effects of what this program has done in the city and the intervention of it in Chicago has changed lives.
I don't think we would have the same kind of access if we hadn't met Get Cities and developed this relationship. So it's been really transformative for us.
Everything we do should be a supernova. We should set a timeline for expiration. Otherwise, we don't feel the urgency to get to the end. Having an evolution that leaves the work seated in the community is a really beautiful artifact of that approach. And I am hopeful that we'll try this more often as we each sort of roll through the world in this practice.